First key point is going to be focusing on the basics and the fundamentals with bodyweight training. So you're going to focus on your key movements such as your push-ups, your bodyweight squats, your front lunges, core training, and working towards being able to master the pull-up. So you're going to be focusing on inverted rows, getting stronger at that pulling movement so then you can master the pull-ups. Now, so many people can't even perform the basic movements correctly before they start to try to advance, and then they wonder why they're not seeing results. So I want you to focus on mastering around 3 sets of around 8 to 15 solid reps for each of those movements. So your basic push-ups, your lunges, your squats, inverted rows, until you're starting to get a few pull-ups. Then you can advance on to the next set of exercises and the next key point on which I'm going to discuss. So right away, key point number 1 is to focus on the basics, the few fundamental exercises that's going to focus on compound training to get you better results in the quickest space of time. 8 to 15 reps, 3 sets for each of those movements before moving on to the key point number 2. So now that you have mastered the basic exercises, it is time to increase the intensity. So this is key point number 2, which is bringing more intensity into your training. So instead of performing a normal push-up, for example, you could perform a more explosive variation, such as a clap push-up. You can bring more intensity into your exercises. Instead of performing a simple bodyweight squat, you can add in a jump squat, a jumping lunge, and adding more reps into your exercises. So say if you were focusing on 15 bodyweight push-ups, increase another few reps. That was bringing more intensity into your training. By adding more intensity throughout these exercises, you're going to see better results. It's adding on that progressive overload, in which we're going to talk about in key point number 3. Therefore, push you towards your goals of seeing more muscle mass and strength with bodyweight training. So we have started with the basics and we've mastered them. Then we have increased the intensity. Now the next point, which is, in my opinion, the most important, progressive overload. Now, if we want to gain more muscle, more strength, more size, we need to stimulate more muscle growth. And to do that, we can focus on a few key different points within progressive overload. We can increase the difficulty of exercises. So for example, instead of performing a normal push-up, we can increase the height, the elevation, place our feet up on a bench, therefore increase the range of motion and making that exercise more difficult. The same thing can go for a squat. Instead of performing your normal bodyweight squat, you can focus on one leg assisted squats and then move into the more advanced variations from there. Also, we can add on more reps to our exercises. We can increase the number of sets that we're used to. So say we are used to performing 3 sets of push-ups, we can move on to 4 sets and then 5 sets over time. We can decrease the amount of rest we are performing within each exercise. So say your body is used to 60 seconds, you can move that down to 45 seconds. All this here is going to be key points to add on progressive overload. Alongside that, as I said before, we can put a backpack on, fill it with books to increase the weight that we're using. We can go and perform that with push-ups, with squats, with inverted rows. We can start to focus on more difficult exercises by starting to push towards our pull-ups. All these key points is going to help us add progressive overload into our training, stimulate new muscle growth, and therefore push you towards your goals of getting leaner, bigger, and stronger with bodyweight training. So we're moving away here from the training on point number 4, and this is where so many people mess up, and it is not focusing on proper nutrition. The majority of people's nutrition is all over the place, and for us to build more muscle, more strength, and most importantly see progression, we need to make sure that we are fueling our bodies in the right way, because once we do so, that will support more muscle growth and really help with progression. So we need to ensure that we are consuming enough protein, carbs, and healthy fats to fuel our workouts and to stimulate new muscle growth. And I will certainly be covering more nutritional videos here within the channel, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But most importantly for now, try to focus on consuming a good source of protein with each meal and focusing on keeping your calories within a good range. And if you're a skinny person looking to gain more muscle, make sure you're focusing on a calorie surplus. And if you're looking to lose more body fat, a calorie deficit, you can literally type in calorie calculators online and that will help guide you. But I will of course do a more in-depth video on that there. So the 5th and final point is focusing on adequate rest and recovery. Now, whenever someone goes and focuses on a new fitness journey or a new goal, they go all out within the first 1 to 2 weeks and then they burn themselves out. And this is where I don't want you to go wrong. We need to focus on good rest and recovery, as it is essential for muscle growth. So we need to ensure that we're getting enough sleep. Anywhere between 7 to 9 hours is what I recommend. And also make sure that you're taking rest days, 1 to 2 rest days a week, especially if you are training intensely and focusing on progressive overload, because you need to allow your muscles to recover. And we need to start focusing on not overtraining our body, which can lead to burnout and therefore can decrease your motivation within your fitness goals and just enable you to give up. So do not overlook the power of rest and recovery, especially if you are training intensely. Anywhere between 4 to 5 solid training sessions a week is going to be enough for you to see progress, as long as you're focusing on those 4 key points at the beginning and then utilizing this last point, which is rest and recovery, taking 1 solid rest day at least. And if you want, you can do an active rest day where it's a bit more lighter. You can do a walk or a bit of core training, or if you want, you can take that second day as a rest, but just ensure that you're recovering your body to therefore get you ready for your next session and enable your muscles to repair, so therefore you can add on more muscle growth, size and strength.